no doubt some of you all have been following me for years. I've been online talking about prepping for about 16 years now, I think it's been. And I ran, a blog, website that was really popular in its day. I have 4 books out on prepping. I have a newsletter right now on Substack. You can go subscribe to that newsletter. It's free. Link in the description box below. I've been talking about this for a long time, talking about prepping, talking about survival, talking about, the possible threats that we face here in the United States and how to prepare for those. And during that time, one of the biggest threats that I have told you all to prepare for has been economic collapse. And I actually thought that when the economy collapsed, that if it was bad enough, that the federal government would also collapse. So I told you all to prepare for a government collapse. And I talked about that for, years. And I've been thinking about it now for several months, and I think I was wrong. I think I was wrong. Not that the economy isn't going to go through major hits and major changes, and the dollar, if we know it, may collapse. However, the government isn't going to go away, in my opinion. The government's not going to collapse. I know we all wish that it would sometimes because we want to be able to put in something that is better, more constitutional, something that'll be for us instead of all the corporations, all the donors for other countries. We want something that would actually be America first. So deep down, a lot of us thought it'd be a good idea that if it did collapse. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen in my opinion. You might disagree. If you do, leave a comment below, let me know. But let me know why you disagree about it. Why do you think it's going to collapse? The government, the federal government, has put in massive continuity of government plans. They've been doing this for a long time. They have had all kinds of time to research, to study, to role play through all this, use simulations to try to figure out what would happen, every way it could happen. And they've put in continuity plans to keep themselves in power. They have taken our tax dollars, they have printed off billions and billions in currency that they have spent on these systems. They've spent to arm themselves, to put in massive bunkers, control structures, so they stay in power. And they've war gamed all this for decades. That's one of the things the government fears the most, is losing power. So the government isn't going to collapse. No matter what happens, in my opinion, they're going to stay in power in some form or another. What we're seeing now is the fact that they are actually becoming more tyrannical. They're becoming more tyrannical. And that's the way it usually goes. As time goes on, governments become more tyrannical. We saw the opposite with Russia. They've actually gotten less tyrannical over the years. And now they have more freedom now than they ever did in Russia. But the Soviet Union collapsed, but the government didn't really collapse. It just changed a little bit. And luckily it did change for the better from what I've read and what I've seen. But who knows what the future will hold for them. It may change for the worst again. But we're seeing our government here in the United States actually changing for the worst. And it doesn't matter, if it's a Republican in office, a Democrat in office, it all goes the same way. They're always reaching, grabbing for more power, more resources, and taking more from us all the time. That's what government does. That's what they do. What they've always done. Especially here in the United States, it seems. They want more power, more power. Like that home improvement show Tim Allen was in years ago. More power. I still watch that show. It's pretty good, actually. And that's what we're seeing with all this AI they're putting in right now, because they know what's coming, and this is all part of the control system after putting it in to stay in power. Putting all these data centers in place, all this AI, and the government is actually consolidating power with these tech companies, like Palantir, like Oracle that Larry Ellison owns. Peter Thiel owns Palantir, and him and his husband, yeah, he's married to a man. Him and his husband are pretty much running the country right now, actually. Well, them and Larry Ellison and Benjamin Netanyahu are pretty much who's running the country right now. And it's going to stay the same no matter who gets in office. But they're putting all this in place and consolidating power with all these tech gurus in Silicon Valley, because they know it's changing. And this is all part of the continuity of government plan to stay in power and to keep power and to gain more power. Happens every time, it seems, with governments. When they start fading away, or unless they think they're fading away, they crack down even harder. That's what we're seeing here. And before, the government didn't have all these technological advantages. They didn't have all this AI. But now, they have all this AI. And they're even building robotics, humanoid robotics that can be hooked in with all the AI systems and controlled all at once. Robotic armies, humanoid robotic armies, think Terminator. This is all part of their plans to stay in power. This is all their continuity of government plan to stay in power. So they're not going to go anywhere, unfortunately. It's going to get worse. We've been preparing for economic collapse for years. A lot of the prepping books that came out, the novels, has been about economic collapse and preparing for that, and about this fictional life that would come after that. But it's not going to happen. We are in more danger now, in my opinion, than we've ever been. Because times has changed, things has changed. You know, back when, say, Ragnar Benson wrote Survival Poaching, or Leaving Off the Land and Sea and Country, two of his most popular books. When he wrote those books, we didn't have all the AI, didn't have all the robotics, didn't have all the computer systems, didn't have all these control structures we have in now with the government. So things was different, but things have evolved, and the government has evolved. And when they've evolved to be able to retain power, continue in power, and to take more power. And this AI systems they're putting in, that's why they're building all the data centers. It's not for ChatGPT, it's to control everyone, it's to control the currency. When our dollar completely collapses, they're just going to convert it right over into digital currency. They're putting everything in place for all this. It should be obvious. And like Larry Ellison said, Larry Ellison of Oracle, who the United States is partnering with. Like he said, with all the cameras in place being monitored in real time by the AI systems, you'll be on your best behavior. And the thing about it is, when you have all these cameras everywhere, drones flying with cameras watching, and you do something that they don't like, you post something on social media they don't like, they may come 50 humanoid drones or humanoid robots to your house, to where you are, and take you off to the camps, like North Korea, and put you in, the work camps. It's not good. It's not good at all. And people hear you say this and they think you're a psychotic lunatic. Never going to happen. We have a constitution in the United States. And it should be obvious to anyone now, at this stage, that the Constitution doesn't mean anything to these people. They don't care about the Constitution. Joe Biden didn't care about the Constitution. Barack Hussein Obama didn't care about the Constitution. Kamala Harris didn't care about the Constitution. And Donald Trump doesn't care about the Constitution. None of them care about the Constitution. All they care about is they're in power and they want to stay in power. Power, power, power. They want to stay in power. They want to gain wealth. They want to be able to go out and get pizza when they really want. and to be completely immune from any prosecution, which we see that now with everything going on. They're not going to let that go very easily. And they have all the resources, all the power, everything right now to be able to keep themselves in power in one form or another forever. And what we're seeing now is this Great Reset agenda we talked about before. And this Great Reset is to keep themselves in power and take more power and to own everything, all the resources, including human resources. You know, you and I, your property, everything. That's why we pay taxes on our property now, because we don't really own our property. The government owns our property. We really own nothing. We're really renters on the land. That's a system's been set up here in the United States. They make you think you own it. They make you think you have choices and free will and everything. They make you think you're a free country. You have free will up to the point where if you go against the government or what they want, then your free will is taken away by being put in a jail cell. Even when what you were doing wasn't hurting anyone else at all. You'll be in a jail cell if they don't like it or if it threatens their power structure. That's what it's all about, power control. That's where we're heading to. It's not government collapse. It is government taking more power, taking more resources from you and I. But anyways, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my Substack yet, go do that, because it's free. You subscribe for free. Link description box below and the first pinned comment to subscribe to my Substack newsletter. And it will be sent to your, when I update, there's a website you can go to, or it will send it directly to your email that you give. And it's, like I said, 100% free to subscribe to my Substack. It's more free as far as has more freedom as far as the freedom of speech goes on Substack than I do here on YouTube. So go subscribe to my Substack. Link, description box below in the first pinned comment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, hopefully.